Hey guys, Robert here again playing some Men of War. Right now I'm playing my roommate on a 2v2 match, and I believe this is farmland or something like that. Anyway, we are playing combat zone, so the objective is to capture at least 2 of the 3 flag points in order to get up to a score of 1200. I'm making this video primarily to show my roommate, my viewpoint and what was going on during this battle, because there's 2 key turning points in the battle. Secondly, I want to show my cousin Kyle how awesome this game is, because I want to get him to start playing it. We've played some Axis and Allies miniatures in the past, and so he's a big fan of squad-based tactic games and of the World War II genre. And also, I want to show my friend Pete, who co-starred in the train heist fail, some pretty cool moves that I was able to pull off this game, which I told him about via email. And at this point, my thought was to capture the far left flag point, because that's the one I spawned closest to, and give up the one further to the right where you see my T-70 light tank, because I figured he would take that one soon, because that is the flag point that is closest to his spawn point. So I figured he'd have infantry running up and I would be able to kill them. So finally he starts taking the flag point, and I send my T-70 in to try to take out his infantry. And this was not very smart on my part, because that hedgerow was protecting, or was concealing those troops. And I didn't know this at the time, but he had just fired 2 Panzerfausts at my infantry. So he must have saved up and got some assault troops, or paratroopers, something like that. Anyway, I continue to pick off these riflemen putting up these sandbags. And I see this guy rushing at me, so I decide to pull back and mow him down with my machine gun using direct control. So Kyle, right now I'm directly controlling this tank, which is pretty cool, and I'm switching between his cannon and his machine gun in order to mow down these infantry. Now I press my luck and rush up again, and he gets me with one of his Panzerfausts, taking out my light tank. Now at this point I'm annoyed with the noise right now. I try to turn down the rain environmental sounds, and because I want to hear more explosions. My game kind of glitched out this game. And you can't hear as much of the explosions and gunfire, which, I mean, that's just part of the atmospherics of this game that really make it fun to play, because it sounds like you're there. So he takes out the T-70. I have only one guy holding the middle point, because I didn't want to invest too much right at the beginning. And I'm trying to save up for a tank. And I just purchased a sniper to send up to my right flank and cover that flag point. And I see him starting to take this middle flag point. And my guy I didn't set him up to have good vision. He was looking the wrong way. And I look over to throw a grenade, and I see this squad of infantry and his light tankette. And luckily my submachine gunner guy has an anti-personnel grenade and an anti-tank one. And I'm able to take out his tank and take out a few of his infantry before dying. So I pull up one of my light vehicles that has I guess the Russian equivalent of the 20mm anti-aircraft gun, in order to try to pick off a lot of those infantry now that they're not protected by the tankette. Over here on the right flank I get pretty lucky. I have my sniper here, and I'm able to kill this scout, which is pretty fortunate. If that scout would have seen the sniper, he would have taken him out, as he has a silenced pistol. And scouts are just really, really good. I end up using one later in the game, and it proves crucial for my efforts. So the game can sometimes come down to things as small as that. I was able to kill his scout, so he wasn't able to get vision of, you know, my back line area and what I'm spawning at any time. So I ambush these guys, put a few guys in the house, put a few guys in the hedgerow, and then bring up my anti-aircraft light vehicle. And I'm able to chew through these infantry as they were going to capture the flag point, and he must have been focusing somewhere else on the map. And if you look at the mini-map on the right, you see he sends in a light vehicle to to try to flush out my sniper. So I'm able to catch these troops unawares. I still think one's alive, but that is not true. My guys start to heal themselves, so I decide not to rush them up. Decide to wait and see what's going on the right flank over here. Right as I get over there, I see he's got his 222. Oh, that's a 223. By the way, David, 222s are much better than the 223s, as they have not only machine gun, but I think it's a 20mm as well. Not really sure. So I think he's having issues either direct controlling or just the pathfinding. Sometimes you'll have issues with the pathfinding, and that's one of the benefits to direct control. So my sniper's pinpointing this 223, so I decide to bring up one of my early heavy tanks, as I want to take it out, as well as put some more pressure on this right flank of his, or my right flank, his left flank. Try to take him out by shooting through the house as my sniper pinpointed him. I may have fired right over him as he has a low silhouette. Get another shot and destroy the 223. So it's unfortunate he was having issues directing where his 223 was, because if he was able to take out that sniper, I would not have had good vision and good control of infantry rushes on that side. So I decided to pull my anti-aircraft light vehicle back and kind of cover that middle flag point and get my sniper to kind of get vision of what's going on here. I don't see anything holding it, so I decided to pull up a submachine gun squad to the right flag point to try to take it. Because I've noticed in the past when I've been playing my roommate David, I'm usually defensive. So once I take 2 flag points, I'll hold on to them. And he'll do what is happening right here on the left flank, where he'll send a tank and some infantry. So if I don't should continue put pressure on his holdings, then he'll generally have these pretty powerful pushes. He tends to enjoy being one of those guys who will kind of save up a little bit, let you get a few points, and then hit you pretty hard. So I used my light vehicle. I'm getting bum rushed. This was kind of an impromptu decision. I was lucky enough to detrack both of that Panzer's tracks, but he was able to hit me, and fortunately I was only damaged and lost my turret, so the turret can't rotate right now. So I decided to pull up another KV-85 to take out this tank and repair my, I think it's a SU-157, either way, my anti-aircraft light vehicle. And I missed my first shot. My men in that church are doing fairly well, holding off some of this infantry. Take out his tank, decide to rush up for this right one, and then I'm going to go back to dealing with the left flank. So I decide to crawl those guys up and rush one of my guys up the left to see what's going on. He gets taken out off screen. I'm repairing the ZSU-37 is the name of it. And it repairs relatively quickly, as it was just a turret issue and nothing more serious. And I bought more tank crew because when he hit me, he took out some of my crew. And tank crew are cheap. And that is the key thing in this game, is to repair your vehicles, repair the other team's vehicles. At this point, this is a note for David specifically, and any viewers who could learn this lesson. He should have repaired that T-70 tank and pulled it back. As you can see, my men are fighting over where my T-70 tank was taken out earlier. My squad got wiped out, but one guy was able to move over to the right of that little hedgerow, which kept him concealed and kept him alive. And he will actually help me out a little later in the game. So I'm trying to take out these infantry hiding in the bushes. And I switch my tank over to direct control and to high explosive rounds as opposed to armor piercing rounds, because AP rounds firing in the bushes at a few infantry is just a waste. So I send my squad up here and decide to use my tank and my my ZSU-37 to kind of give them cover. I rush my men up before my tank and my ZSU can really provide adequate cover. And his tank crew right behind that tank give his squad in the back closer to the flag point vision, so they're able to engage them and take out the majority of my SMG squad I sent. So my squad gets taken out. I'm going to have to pull up another one. At this point I realize he's got his mobile Nebelwerfer firing. And fortunately it only detracked my heavy tank. If it was a lighter tank it would have been destroyed probably immediately, and medium tanks would have taken more damage, but since it was a heavier tank it was able to survive that. So I'm thinking to myself, that is a problem that I'm going to have to deal with at some point. But right now I really need to take one of these flag points, as he's holding 2 right now. So his points are going up, as you can see in the top right. Mine are going down. So I call this other squad up, and my KV-85 is able to have better vision and use its machine guns to take out a lot of that infantry, as well as the ZSU is doing some damage. So this is that one surviving guy who was hidden. He's able to contest this flag point, which I'm doing right now to kind of distract David from being able to really focus on any one area, try to split his attention. So I put these guys in this church again. I love how you can just pick a window, and that guy gets taken out, and I realize there's some guys holding in those brush, which is the importance of concealment. So I decided to lob some grenades over there. And between the grenades, lobbing and force them out of cover, my squad there in the ZSU, I'm able to do some damage. Now this guy takes the point, but then they start taking it back. So that is a contested flag point. I have 2 now, so my score's going up. So he was ahead in points, but now I'm starting to catch back up. And the pressure's on him now, as I have a pretty good hold on the left flag point. And with my heavy tank on the right, I'm able to kind of pin it down. At this point it would be wise to rush. I mean, if he knew how I was laid out, it would be wise to rush the middle flag point, as I only have a squad of infantry there. So my KV-85 is repaired, and I'm over here checking up on the middle one, trying to figure out what I might need, thinking about bringing up a rocket launcher. Pretty proud of my ZSU so far. He's done pretty well, and I'm really hoping to keep him alive. I have my scout moving up to try to get some vision on him, and then his Nebelwerfer is going to open up on me and force me to react to that. So I'm going to try to throw another grenade. And then at this point, I'm like, what just happened? I just got hit by his Nebelwerfer artillery. I decide to repair his Panzer IV there. And then I'm thinking to myself, if he's invested a lot into that mobile Nebelwerfer, the rocket artillery, then he probably, and I've been able to kill most of his stuff, he probably doesn't have a whole lot protecting up here. So this is a calculated risk. If he would have had a rocket launcher and an anti-tank rifle hidden in the brush somewhere, or even a tank hiding in the back, this would have been an epic fail. But I'm like, I have all 3 flag points, and I have 115 resources, so I'm able to you know, take on this risk. Now he stalls my crew, and I'm able to take out his rocket launcher. And I have a terrible miss right there. And this is just like, this is dangerous right now. My guy's just sitting there. I see these bushes moving, so I know there's men coming. I see these two guys coming. I'm like, oh no, I'm done. They throw some anti-tank grenades, and they're too close to where it kills the SMG troops that threw the anti-tank grenades. And fortunately for me, as it's a heavy tank, I was able to only get away with them basically stunning my crew. So I flank back around with this KV-85, and my machine gun takes out the infantry he's holding. I see this guy following me, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta get my sniper in this. I'm gonna try to get him in line with the sniper so the sniper can cover me while I run for cover, but he ends up pulling back. And he has my rightmost flag point at this point. So I decided to turn my KV-85 around so his front armor, where his strongest armor is going to face anything that is opposing me. Because at this point, one of my roommate's tactics is he will save up, get his heavy tanks, his infantry squads, and then hit one or two flag points at the same time. So he kind of lulls me into this false sense of security where I'm like, oh, I have all this. You know, I have the points, I have superiority, and then he'll hit you hard. And I see this Nebelwerfer artillery, and I'm not sure if it's the Nebelwerfer, but it's the German rocket artillery, and I decide to send my scout over there, and I don't want him to auto-engage the guys, and it's fortunate I don't, because he sends some infantry over, and I hover over them to see what kind of infantry they are, and there you go. There is the King Tiger. Is that a King Tiger or just a Tiger? Looks either way. He's sending his infantry, he's got his rocket artillery over there, and I have nothing in the area to defend it. Both of my KV-85s are on my right flank, and he's definitely focusing on my left flank. So his tank is getting suspicious here. He may have seen me on the map. His infantry rush in. He's probably forgot about them while he's focusing on his tank. So that was fortunate for me. I was able to wipe out his rushing and infantry. Had he been focusing on them, he would have been able to keep that little ambush from happening. And I'm trying to repair his tank on the left. It's not ready yet. I'm realizing I'm going to have to do something as my tanks are on the right flank. So I take out this crew with my scout, and then I decide to take over the rocket launcher. And I'm like, this is it. I mean, this is the only thing that's going to be able to save me right now, is if I am able to stall this tank with the rockets. So I end up destroying the track, blowing up, destroying the engine, and taking out the majority of the crew. So his turret can still function, and he's still got one or two guys left in there. And as you can see here, the hull-mounted machine gun takes out one of my squad. I try to get up there to throw in an anti-tank grenade, and he decides to rush the right flag point at this point where I've moved up a squad. So I still have that rocket pod in the back, and I should have been paying attention to maybe try to use it one more time. But I'm mostly worried about the his heavy tank. And somehow, I'm not sure if my scout blew up the rocket pod or what, but that took out a squad of assault infantry. So I decided to pull up a Joseph Stalin tank, and it's a Panther, and take this Panther out once and for all. And I must be on hilly terrain because I'm not able to fire. I see his turret moving. I'm like, oh shoot, this is not good. Because as it's a Panther, he could do some damage to me. Luckily, he hits the ground. My first tank from my Joseph Stalin 2 tank is able to finish off the Panther. And at this point, I have 1,100 points. So I'm feeling pretty good. I just finish taking over his tank, and the game is coming to a close. So, epic scout steal on his rocket artillery, and good use of concealment, setting up the scout to get vision, and here are the results of the game. Kyle, you should get this.